Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. Hard act to follow with Grady and Headley, isn't it? So I'll try my best to keep the enthusiasm going. We're going to talk silver and gold. Unfortunately, not one of the commodities presented a minute ago, but if I leave you with one or two key facts in the next 15 minutes, is that we've got about 7 years of silver reserves remaining in the world. We're rapidly chewing down our remaining stockpiles, and that's where Andean is well positioned to take advantage of the commodity cycle we see ahead of us in silver. So let's talk a couple of key facts for you. I was reminded by one of our shareholders who I met here earlier on this morning that about this time 12 months ago, we were just finishing the acquisition of the Cerro project in southern Chile. So only a year on, we're just starting to hit our straps in terms of the project, and we've got a very action-packed year ahead of us over the next 12 months. The key here is this is a rapid growth project. We already have 91 million ounces of silver equivalent resource on our books. To put that in gold terms, that's a little bit over 1 million ounces of gold equivalent, and grade is very important as well. Silver grade over 340 grams per tonne, which works out on a gold equivalent around 4.1 grams per tonne. So high grade, already got a existing mine there that's on care and maintenance. So it's a low cost opportunity to get into production, but I'm going to focus this morning to talk to you about the growth in the resource. The news flow ahead of us. We've just spent the last 8 months getting started with drilling. We have 3 rigs on the go in southern Chile currently. The first of our mineral resource estimate updates are going to be delivered at the end of this quarter. So watch this space. That's some pretty important and we hope exciting news to come ahead of us. Silver and gold, obviously, are very two important commodities. I'll talk a little bit about in a moment, but we have a very strong team. You're going to hear from Darren at Firefly this morning. You think about some of the teams that have come out of the stable in Richardson Street. There's a number of very key companies, including Bellevue, Firefly and others, that this team have been successful in incubating and maturing. Southern Chile, for those of you that have never been to Southern America, it was my first time earlier this year to be in Southern America. We are in the Aysén province of southern Chile, in the Deseado Massif. So we are in a highly proven area of silver and gold projects. If you look across the border to Argentina, you'll see there's at least 5 large producing silver gold mines there. Our project is just on the Chilean side. If you look over the Lake General Carrera, you can actually see all the way into Argentina. It's a low sulfidation epithermal system, something a bit unique, and that's important because when you look at the exploration history of this area, you'll understand why we're doing what we're doing and what the opportunity ahead of us looks like. Historical exploration has centred on surface outcropping, and there's plenty of surface outcropping in our project area, but we're starting to look under surface, and that's where the real exciting stuff is going to come in the next 12 months for us. The team, I'm happy to talk you through the backgrounds of all the team, but we've assembled a high-quality team. Ray Shorrocks was here presenting last year. Many of you will know Ray, Razor Ray. But there is a solid team behind this, and David Southam, I think, used 2 elbows and a knee to edge Ray out of the chairman role in October. So many of you will also know Dave Southam. Capital structure, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but if you look in the bottom left, you'll see the register composition is very tightly held. 30% by directors and management. That shows you how committed the team are to creating shareholder value, but also there's some bellwether institutions there. Over 35% of the register is institutionally held, and 1832 and Sprott are both substantial. Those are early players in these types of projects, and for us, a real key support of our strategy here. Silver, I think Nick might have mentioned it. You might have just caught it before gold, 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 and copper, copper, copper. Silver is an important commodity. It's both a precious metal and an industrial metal. If you look at the industrial applications, you'll see the intensity of silver used in solar and other applications going forward, but those numbers at the bottom are what I'm most focused on, which is the drawdown on inventories of global silver stocks. I mentioned earlier there's around 7 years of residual inventory. Demand is higher than production today, and there's about 7 years at current rates of remaining resources and reserves of silver in vaults around the world before we run out. So something has to happen. The silver price has lagged gold parity. Historically, around 64 to 1 is the arbitrage between the silver gold price, currently about 88, 90 to 1. So silver and gold prices have disconnected. So if you believe silver is fairly valued, if you believe gold is fairly valued, then silver has some run to go in the future. So let's now talk about the Cerro Barrio project. I'm not going to dive into all the geological slides. I'm happy to talk around our booth later on today for you around those. You'll see we have over 400 square kilometres of tenure under licence. This area produced between 1996 and last produced in 2022. So there's 26 years of production history, almost 100 million ounces of silver gold concentrate pulled out of this project already. We have a 91 million ounce remaining today before we even bring in all the drilling we're currently doing in this project. As I mentioned, I was there about 3 weeks ago. There is a lot of this tenure that has barely been touched. The two key areas of production are around Laguna Verde, where we have a 500,000 tonne per annum float plant, and the Cerro Barrio area. We have around 65 million ounces of resource around the Laguna mine. We are currently drilling up, looking for additional resource for a mine restart that we'll start planning for later this year. And the Cerro Barrio area has around another 25 million ounces. The rest of it hardly been touched with modern exploration. David reminded me we have to show you the equipment. We have a production-capable mine already built. This is a low-cost opportunity to get into cash flow. We are currently turning that plant over every 2 weeks. It is being currently warm stacked and ready to start reproduction. We're looking to build around 10 years of mine life in our resource base before we start into the studies later this year, looking at restarting this mine. So we don't have to go and permit, we don't have to build, we have it already there on our doorstep. You might ask, how did a little West Perth company pick up an asset like this? We bought this asset a year ago out of Tribeca for a little under $5 million. $150 million of infrastructure, 91 million ounces of resource, all the spares and equipment sitting there ready to go, a workforce on your doorstep. This is a remarkable opportunity, and it's why the team and our early investors have all been jumping on this story to get this thing moving, and that's what we're doing this year. So let's talk very quickly about the drilling. We have 3 rigs currently working on Laguna Verde. We've been working the Cristal and the Pegaso veins. Those 2 veins we've been drilling for the last 6 months. The first resources, they were discoveries late last year, the first resources are going to be reported before the end of this quarter on those 2 deposits. We've moved the rigs over. We now have 2 of those 3 rigs working on Collita, and we're looking to expand onto the Collita resource over the next 3-4 months. A second resource update is scheduled for the 3rd quarter this year with the results of that second half of this year's drilling. Cristal, you can see here the deposit, the grades, these drill results have been reported. That's coming into our resource update in the next month. Pegaso, similarly, we've been drilling. We're continuing to drill out. That will come into maiden resource in the next month. Collita is where we're working now. It's a 1.4 kilometre trend. Grades continue open at depth. You can see existing declines from historical mining already there and the resource outline, but we're getting started on drilling this as we speak. That will feature in our Q3 update later this year. Cerro Bayo is the real interesting one, and we just put a release out this morning. I'm going to build you into the story and explain the significance of this area. Historically, production centred around the Cerro Bayo Hill, but the Drought Master Corridor, which you see in pink here, is really the focus of our future efforts. That area has been largely unexplored. The Marcella Trend is the only blind discovery on this entire tenure. It's the only discovery that was made by chance that didn't come from a surface outcrop, and that's really significant. The reason that that's significant is we've just started a geophysical campaign, the first geophysical campaign on this entire tenure, looking undercover. There's around 15 to 40 metres of gravel cover over this area, and we believe there's a number of undiscovered trends that continue in this area. As I said, I was walking this area 3 weeks ago with our geological team, who are currently out doing rock chip sampling and surface mapping, but it's the geophysics that's going to give us the next real good look at this play trend. Marcella is the blind discovery I mentioned. There's an existing raised bore development there and underground development drives, but this continues at depth. We've just got the first geophysical looks at this area, and you'll see some of that in a moment. So this is the regional trend. I've talked about the production history. We're diving into Drought Master. Here's the main area. You can see the rock chip sampling there that we've been doing on surface already. These are stunning grades. These are multi-thousand grams per tonne grades on rock chips, and they continue at depth. You saw the resource, 340 grams per tonne silver equivalent on the resource. This has been the focus, and we'll be moving up through this trend over the next 4 to 6 months with the geophysical program. 300 line kilometres of geophysical work being undertaken at the moment. This involves up to 8 kilometre lines of cable, a handful of guys walking these things progressively up the hill. This is hard work. We're at about 400 metres of elevation, going to 1,200 metres of elevation. So it is labour-intensive work to get this work done, but we've just got the first results. I'm pleased to report this is the announcement we've just put out about an hour ago this morning. These are our calibration lines on the geophysical survey. What we were looking to see is, could we image the existing known mineralisation and productive areas of the play trend, and what would we start to see below cover? The image in your top left, you can see, starts with the Cerro Bayo producing mine, moves over to the Marcella trend that you can see we already have drill intercepts in. Guanaco and Claudia are both proven mineralisation, and what's popped out is the Pampa de Pera area. Below about 15 metres of cover, we see the same resistivity responses below cover on a new play trend undrilled. We're going to work our way up to Cinta Hill, up the hill, and work our way back down. Snow will come in May, so we want to be up there early before the guys really struggle with the weather conditions. This will run for the next 4 to 6 months, and it will form the basis of our future greenfield growth-driven exploration strategy. Once we get the geophysics matched with the surface mapping results, we'll start to plan a drill program and get into this later in this year. We have some regional targets. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those. I'm happy to talk to you, though, around those at our booth later on if you want to drop by and see me. But this is the activity set for Andean for the next 12 months. You can see mapped there, every second quarter will be a mineral resource update incorporating our drill results. We have ongoing drilling around the breadth of our existing project area. The geophysical work is going to dictate our greenfield exploration program, which we're really excited to see the results on. And then we move on to the regional exploration at Los Domos and Cerro Diablo. Hopefully that's whetted your appetite. Please drop by the booth if you'd like to dive into anything in more detail. Look forward to another year of really high growth story and news flow from Andean, and I look forward to updating you in 12 months' time with the outcome of this work. Thank you very much.